Have you ever wondered what would happen to your wealth after you're gone? How can you ensure it benefits the people you care about? These are the questions that often keep us awake at night, aren't they? The concept of financial security is not just about having a hefty bank balance, it's about knowing that your hard-earned wealth will be put to good use, even when you're not around to oversee it. As we all know, the future is an unpredictable entity. While we can't foresee every twist and turn, we can certainly prepare for it. We can put in place a robust financial plan that stands strong against the tides of uncertainty. A plan that not only protects your wealth, but also ensures that it reaches the right hands at the right time. This brings us to the crux of our discussion today. One of the most effective ways to secure your wealth for the future is through a trust fund. But what exactly is a trust fund, and how does it work? These are questions that many of us grapple with when exploring the world of personal finance and wealth management. At its core, a trust fund is a legal arrangement designed to provide financial security for an individual or an organization. It involves three key roles: the grantor, the trustee, and the beneficiaries. Let's break down these roles a bit further. The grantor, also known as the settler, is the person who establishes the trust fund. They put assets into the trust, and these assets can be anything of value. We're talking cash, stocks, bonds, real estate, even a collection of vintage cars, if that's your thing. The grantor sets the terms for how the trust is to be managed and who benefits from it. Next, we have the trustee. This is the person or organization responsible for managing the trust according to the grantor's instructions. They handle the day-to-day operations, making investments, paying out benefits, and so on. The trustee has a fiduciary duty, which means they're legally obliged to act in the best interests of the beneficiaries. And speaking of beneficiaries, they're the ones who reap the rewards of the trust fund. They could be family members, friends, or even charitable organizations. The benefits they receive can be income generated by the assets, such as dividends from stocks or rent from real estate, or they might receive the assets themselves, depending on the terms set by the grantor. So, in a nutshell, a trust fund is like a treasure chest. The grantor fills it with valuable items, the trustee guards and manages the treasure, and the beneficiaries are the ones who get to enjoy the spoils, all according to the map drawn by the grantor. Trust funds may sound complex, and indeed they can be, but with the right guidance and understanding, they can be a powerful tool for managing wealth and ensuring financial security. In essence, a trust fund is a legal entity that holds and manages assets for the benefit of certain individuals or organizations. It's a way of ensuring that your hard-earned wealth is used in the way you want, even when you're no longer around to oversee it. Now that we understand what trust funds are and how they work, you might be wondering, how do I set up a trust fund? Setting up a trust fund can be a complex process, but with the right guidance, it's entirely achievable. Let's break it down into 5 basic steps. Step 1 is deciding the type of trust you want to establish. Trusts come in many shapes and sizes, from revocable trusts, which can be changed or cancelled by the grantor at any time, to irrevocable trusts, which cannot be altered without the permission of the beneficiary. Each type has its own benefits and drawbacks, so it's important to choose the one that best suits your needs and goals. Step 2 involves choosing your beneficiaries. Who will benefit from your trust fund? This could be your children, other family members, a friend, or even a charity. Remember, you can also set conditions for how and when the beneficiaries receive their benefits. The third step is selecting a trustee. This could be a trusted friend, a family member, or a professional trust company. The trustee will need to be someone you trust implicitly, as they will be responsible for managing the trust according to your instructions. Step 4 is transferring your assets into the trust. This could involve changing the titles of property or accounts into the name of the trust, and could require assistance from a lawyer or financial advisor. Finally, step 5 is drafting and signing the trust agreement. This document will outline all the terms of the trust, including the roles of the grantor, trustee, and beneficiaries, the conditions under which the trust can be amended or revoked, and how the assets are to be managed and distributed. Remember, setting up a trust fund is a significant financial decision that requires careful planning and professional advice. It's always a good idea to consult with a financial advisor or attorney to ensure that your trust is set up correctly and in line with your financial goals. Before we move on to the benefits of a trust fund, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more financial insights. Your support helps us create more content like this. So, why should you consider setting up a trust fund? Well, let's dive into the first two key benefits: control over your wealth and protection from creditors. Imagine having the power to decide how, when, and to whom your assets are distributed. With a trust fund, this isn't a dream, but a reality. You can specify conditions on how your wealth is spent, such as setting aside funds specifically for education or housing. You can also determine when your beneficiaries receive their inheritance. Perhaps you want to ensure that your children are mature enough to handle their inheritance responsibly. With a trust fund, you can set an age limit or even a milestone like graduating from college before they receive their share. And it's not just about when and how, but also to whom. You can choose to distribute your wealth not only to family members, but also to organizations and causes that are close to your heart. This level of control is empowering, allowing you to shape the impact of your wealth long after you're gone. Now let's move on to the second major benefit: protection from creditors. In a world where financial uncertainty is a reality, having a safety net for your assets is invaluable. Trust funds can serve as this safety net. Assets placed in a trust are generally protected from creditors and lawsuits. This means that even in the face of financial adversity, your hard-earned assets are safeguarded. In particular, this can be beneficial for business owners or professionals in high-risk occupations where lawsuits are common. With a trust fund, their personal assets can be kept separate and secure. It's like having a financial fortress that shields your wealth from unforeseen storms. So, to summarize, trust funds offer two key benefits that make them an attractive option for wealth management. They provide you with control over your wealth, allowing you to decide how, when, and to whom your assets are distributed. And they offer protection from creditors and lawsuits, ensuring that your assets are safe no matter what. Not only does a trust fund give you control over your wealth, but it also provides a layer of protection. And the benefits of a trust fund don't stop there. A trust fund is not just a financial safety net, it's a smart tax strategy. You see, one of the significant advantages of establishing a trust fund is the potential for tax savings. Trust funds can be designed to reduce estate taxes, allowing more wealth to be passed on to future generations. This is done by removing taxable assets from your estate so they aren't subject to estate tax when you pass away. Moreover, trust funds can provide income tax advantages. For instance, some trusts are pass-through entities, meaning they pass on the income to the beneficiaries who then pay the income tax. This can often result in a lower tax rate than if the income were taxed at the trust level. But let's not forget, tax laws are complex and ever-changing. It's always advisable to consult with a tax advisor or financial planner to make sure you're maximizing these benefits and staying within the legal guidelines. Now let's move on to another key benefit of trust funds: privacy. Privacy is a luxury, and when it comes to your financial affairs, it's a necessity. With a trust fund, the details of your assets and who they're distributed to are kept private, away from prying eyes. This is in stark contrast to a will, which becomes a public document once it's submitted to probate court. Trust funds allow you to discreetly manage and distribute your wealth without public scrutiny. This can be particularly beneficial if you wish to avoid potential disputes or tension among beneficiaries, or simply want to keep your financial matters confidential. In summary, trust funds offer more than just financial security. They present a strategic way to manage taxes and preserve privacy, making them a powerful tool in wealth management. With tax advantages and privacy, a trust fund offers a secure and confidential way to manage and distribute your wealth.